Hello, I'm Dante Zero and welcome to the video review for Supergiant Games' hotly anticipated PS4 download titled Transistor. Transistor is set in the fictional city of Cloudbank, where you take on the character of Red, a mysterious singer who has lost her voice, but strangely enough can hum, and she takes hold of the Transistor sword, which can speak and does so frequently. And it's basically a journey of them struggling through adversity to try and get Red's voice back, with Transistor helping you along the way, smashing baddies and stuff. But there is a lot more to the story than that. I don't want to give away too many spoilers because essentially Transistor is a blend of lots of different elements. There's a love story here, there's political agenda here in terms of fascism and dealing with that, but it's also a medley of music, art, culture. It is just all blended beautifully to create the game that is Transistor and the environment that is Cloudbank and the characters. So, how's the gameplay, we hear you cry? Well, essentially there's not too much to it in terms of holding your hand and guiding you direction, but I mean it becomes pretty obvious which direction you need to go to do stuff and things like that. There are some hidden secrets. The overall turn combat system is actually pretty sweet. You can tap one of the shoulder buttons, I can't remember off the top of my head, I think it's L2 or R2, and it puts you into a management system where you can then plan your route. If you make any mistakes, you can press the L2 button and you can void those mistakes off. Now, as you're seeing this bit of footage just here, you can see some of the tutorial that explains how to actually go about with the combat system. Now the other thing as well is you have an active time battle gauge stuff across the top of the screen. Fans of Final Fantasy will know exactly what I'm talking about there. And you kind of have to plan your actions out depending on obviously that gauge. Obviously the bigger, more powerful attacks you use, the more they're going to deplete that gorge pretty quickly, but if you get in close and use smaller ones, obviously you're going to be able to do more damage, more hits, etc, etc. It's a really nice system. It's fantastic to get to grips with, and as you go throughout the game, obviously you'll acquire new various abilities and unlocks, and you'll come up across different kinds of enemies, which gradually get harder and harder. They're not too challenging until you, of course, you beat the game and you go into what's called the recourse mode, which is, as you can see here, some of these baddies are part of that, and they're pretty difficult, if I'm honest. But if you've upgraded your abilities correctly and you've planned out a strategy, you're good to go. And that's what's brilliant about this system as well. It pairs real-time strategy with turn-based RPG, and it genuinely works, and it feels comfortable playing, and you can have a lot of fun with it as well. I mean, obviously you don't necessarily have to go into the pause aspect of it and pause time to actually do the combat. You can, of course, just mash the buttons should you want to, and there's a degree of satisfaction to that, but not as well as actively planning your maneuvers to an accurate degree. I found that this is probably one of the funnest turn-based RPG style type games that I've played in a long time, which is saying a lot, really, if you think about it from an RPG fan's perspective. But overall, I mean, the core gameplay in terms of the combat's fine, and there's plenty, as I said before, there's plenty to explore within the game, lots of hidden secrets, and we'll challenge rooms and stuff like that, and we'll come to that shortly. But yeah, as you can see in the footage here, I'm just running around mashing people up and stuff.
Where were we?
and here you can see an example of a well executed planned move here where I took out, you know, 20 odd bad guys just because of, well, not that many, but 10-15 bad guys just through pure planning. So, you know, if you like to plan and you like your RTSs but you also like your RPGs, then Transistor's certainly a game for you, and there's lots of fun to be had with the gameplay. So here I'm just going to highlight some of the features within the games and some cool stuff that you might not necessarily see, and that make this quite the nice experience to get involved with. So here you'll see me upgrading some, you know, getting some unlocks, and as you level up, obviously you get access to more abilities and stuff. What's interesting about it is every ability and unlock that you have actually has a personality, and I'll show you that shortly. Here you'll see these monitors which you can go up to, and you can type and vote on things as well. But if you're actually really careful, you can notice that Red actually has a conversation with Transistor in some of the comments as well, and you'll see them being deleted and rewritten. And that's because they're actually having a conversation together, which is kind of a really nice, cool feature. One of the things you want to do when you play Transistor is you actually want to go into settings and turn the controller mic on, because then it feels like you're having real dialogue with Transistor himself. So as you can see from this footage, as I say, every ability that you acquire and upgrade that you acquire actually has a personality. And it's kind of fun because if you to unlock all that person's information and information and in how they interact with the story, you have to use them in different ways. So you can use them as a primary ability, a passive ability, or a secondary ability, and as you do that, more information unlocks, which is why, as I say, becomes kind of fun for the real-time strategy aspect of it, because you are kind of forced into using all these if you want to know the information, but nevertheless it's pretty fun to do. And Transistor here upgrades are pretty cool as well. As you go along and you level up, you'll get these as well, and they allow you to upgrade to get experience and stuff, and it's just a really nice fluid RPG system. It has a lot of character to the upgrading aspect of it, and I kind of like that. Overall, the upgrading and levelling up system is a complete breath of fresh air, but that's not all that lies in store for you in Transistor. You'll come across hidden rooms where you can do challenges based on speed, planning, that kind of thing, and you unlock new content as well, so there's plenty of depth. Audio wise, Transistor has one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard in a game, period. And just going to show you a quick example of that with Red right now.
I can hear, oh, I can hear.
At any point during the game, you can get Red to actually hum a tune just by pressing L1. It's a fantastic, cool little feature to have in the game, brilliant and beautiful. It's a little sad that Transistor has launched on PSN in a week full of AAA titles that might cause people to overlook it, really, because what you have in Transistor is a fantastically crafted product by Supergiant Games that is astonishing. You know, there are so many superlative words that you can put to this game, it's not even funny. It just has everything. The audio is beautiful, the story is well told and interesting, the characters are interesting, the art's fantastic. If you're going to buy any PSN game, even like this year or within the next couple of years, make sure Transistor's first on your list, because Supergiant Games really do deserve the support for such a fantastic, amazing end game, and I highly recommend it. Go out and buy it now. I've been Dan20, thanks for watching, do the usual bump, and I'll see you soon with more video reviews.